welcome back. We are continuing our conversation with Dr. Tammy Tucker with Healing Arts Centers. Dr. Tammy, very passionate about inspiring and educating you on alternative approaches when it comes to your health and wellness. This segment is sponsored by Healing Arts Centers. Dr. Tammy, good to see you.
Welcome back.
Hey, thanks,
Yes, welcome back.
Love this.
So today we're going to talk about a hot topic, and that is Ozempic.
Yeah.
We're hearing a lot about Ozempic from celebrities. What is it, and then why do you think it's become so popular?
Obviously because it's so effective. And it's actually a peptide that was created probably 2005 was the first year that it really came out for diabetes. And what they used it for was in much lower doses to regulate blood sugar. Insulin's the hormone that regulates sugar. And so, of course, I'm the hormone girl, right? So I always have to talk about how hormones play into everything. And I think it's very fascinating because as far as weight goes, that's estimated that 75% of the population is overweight and up to 30% of the population is what we consider obese. And you know, it's kind of interesting because if you were a student in school and one kid failed a class, we would think that was the student. But if 75% of the students failed a class, then we would know that's probably the teacher or some about the curriculum. So I really think it's a big part of the food supply that is the problem. So what happens if we can decrease how much we take in, then this GLP-1 peptide hormone can help with that. And it's not a quick fix, just like anything. You know, y'all are talking about the eclipse today. Everybody's getting outside. Why don't we do that all the time? And why don't we really have a focus on health and wellness instead of a quick fix? But you know, some people in social media really blew it up, and so it is effective, but I think we should be focusing more on health and hormones and instead of just medications.
What is something that people should be thinking about if this is the route that they want to go on when we're talking about weight loss? What is some things that they need to consider?
Well, anything that is a solution could be like gastric bypass, but all we're doing is decreasing calories. And so the biggest problem is that when we decrease calories, we lose muscle. And so I really promote all over hormone wellness, especially in menopause after we're aging a little bit, because if we focus on hormones, then we can focus on the underlying problem. And so what happens is people lose weight, but they actually catabolize their muscle, meaning they break down and lose their muscle. And so it's very important. So my biggest thing when I tell people is you've got to be ready, just like any other intervention, diet pills, anything that you do, that you have to focus on more protein, a lot of protein, and building muscle.
Yeah.
Because if we really move forward with building muscle, that's the goal. Because really, skinny isn't really in, healthy is in.
Sure.
And so we really want to promote people to get out and exercise and do all the things, change your lifestyle.
I love what you're talking about because you're talking about kind of a lifestyle change. And anytime you talk about a drug like Ozempic, that can give you maybe a boost, a kick, but you've got to follow it up with your entire lifestyle, which I feel like is what you're speaking to right now. What about alternatives? Are there alternatives to taking Ozempic? I mean, we hear that name a lot. What are some alternatives?
So it's very expensive for one thing, and if your insurance doesn't pay, which a lot of them don't, you can pay up to $1,800 a month. So when I started looking at that, I thought this is a great opportunity to help with hormones because it's something called a peptide hormone. Everybody's scared of this because, you know, is it safe? You know, and so anyway, it literally is, insulin is a peptide hormone. So we've been using insulin, you know, for a long time. But when you think about alternatives, one of the things I did over the years, I'll age myself here at 55, but I've helped, especially women, but with hormones over the past, 23 years. But what I find is that they really need some help. And that is not a weakness. Asking for help is actually a strength. And so a little plug for my weight loss supplement, it's called Carb Melt. But it actually helps with the same things like berberine and white kidney bean that actually has some head-to-head studies with things like metformin, which are a medication. And again, don't stop any of your medications. That's my disclaimer. But if you're thinking about something like that, do your research because there are some things, like a weight loss supplement that I formulated to help with that first. But always more protein, build muscle. You don't want to yo-yo because you're just going to lose more muscle every time.
Dr. Tammy, if people are watching and they're like, we'd love to further the conversation with you and talk more about whatever they're experiencing, how can they reach out to you?
I'm at Healing Art Centers with an S on the end of that. And we are actually doing semaglutide, which is the generic, so we can save people a lot of money to do that. And we have a starter program, and it's like nothing near. I mean, the first month is less than $100, so versus $1,800. But I feel there's value in helping people with things or offering them my weight loss supplement like Carb Melt and things like that. So lots of solutions. But number one, focus on your protein, build muscle, strength training, and then focus on, losing the weight.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Thanks for filling us in, those positive
Sure.
words. Yeah, we
Yeah.
always appreciate you coming on. So
Thank
thanks,
you,
Dr.
thank you.
Yes,
It's
yes,
been fun.
absolutely.
Thanks.
Thank you.